Welcome back mga kabayan! Nagbabalik po muli ang inyong lingkod upang magbigay sa inyo ng mga bago at nagbabagang mga balita. Tila ba naging mainit na usapin ang isyong ito sa mundo ng social media? Tapos na, finish na. Yan ang sinabi ni VP Inday Sara Duterte nang inilipag niya ang kamay na bakal kontra dito sa Kamara at kinasaldi ko na ito at kay House Speaker Tambalos Los Romualdez. May kukulong na nga ba ang dalawang kongresong katiwali na ito? Alamin, parang ito nga, dito na nga natin makikita mga kaibigan na hindi na nga talaga nakapagtiis itong si VP Inday Sara Duterte dito sa mga tiwaling mga kongreso na ito na sumasakop or dito na mamahala sa ating Kamara or sa House of Representatives. Dito nga natin makikita mga kaibigan na tila ba sinampal ng katotohanan ni VP Inday Sara Duterte itong si Saldico dahil umano sa sinabi ni Saldico na patas daw at bawal ang kurakot. Ha? Dito natin makikita mga kaibigan na tila ba nakakatawa itong si Saldico na ito at tila ba siya pa ang may karapatang magsabi na kailangan daw natin ng justice at patas at bawal daw ang kurakot. Ngunit na kung alam naman natin mga kaibigan na itong si Saldico ay milyon-milyon, bilyon-bilyon, trilyon-trilyon na ang naibulsa galing sa kaban ng bayan dahil sa pag-uutos sa kanya nitong si Tambaluslos Romualdez, ang Speaker ng House of Representatives. Dito nga natin makikita mga kaibigan na hindi natin kailangan paniwalaan ang lahat ng sinasabi ng mga tiwaling na ito, lalong-lalo na mga kaibigan ay nasasangkot sila sa napakaraming issue at napakaduming mga gawain na nangyayari dito sa ating bansa. Well, para nga sa kabuang detalye ay panoorin na lamang ang buong video. At kung bago ka pa lamang sa ating channel ay huwag kakalimutang mag-subscribe, pindutin ang notification bell at piliin ang all upang laging maging updated sa mga bago at nagbabagang mga balita. At sa mga solid viewers naman natin dyan, maraming salamat naman po sa patuloy na pagtangkilik sa ating channel. Tuloy-tuloy lang po ang laban para sa katotohanan at para na rin sa kinabukasan ng ating pinakamamahal na bansang Pilipinas. At huwag din pong kakalimutang mag-iwan ng like at i-share ang ating mga videos. At kung meron ka naman pong hinaing, ang ating comment section ay bukas para sa inyong mga opinyon. Muli po maraming salamat and may God continue to bless our country and protect our country from these government officials who are truly not serving but only serving themselves and not serving God but serving Mammon themselves.
I move that we recognize the Honorable Presley De Jesus of PhilReca Party List for his interpellation.
The gentleman from the party list PhilReca, the Honorable Presley C. De Jesus, is recognized for his interpellation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May the good sponsor yield a few questions from this representation.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Siguro gusto ko lang linawin para yung mga nakikinig sa ating mga kababayan natin. No? You mentioned a while ago during the interpellation of Kong Bordado, our budget for next year, 2025, is 6-point-something trillion. Am I right?
That is correct, Mr. Speaker. 6.352 trillion pesos, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
And the projected income for 2025 is 4-point-something trillion. Is that correct?
Mr. Speaker, total projected revenues is 4.644 trillion pesos.
So we have a deficit of 1.6 trillion, something change, right?
1.537,
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker.
Gusto ko lang malaman, Mr. Chair, no? Mr. Speaker, sa ating magaling na Madam Sponsor, I heard, if I'm correct, no, you mentioned na our borrowings will be amounting to 2.5 and change trillion. Am I right?
That is correct, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Chair, no, siguro, please enlighten us, Mr. Speaker, Madam Sponsor, bakit may sobra tayong almost 1 trillion? Para lang malaman natin mga kababayan. Ano yung difference na yun?
So mas malaki po ang expected natin na spending kumpara sa ating kikitain. Yun ang tanong natin. So ang tawag po natin dyan, pump priming. Yan po ay isang Keynesian principle. Matapos po ang Great Depression sa Amerika, matapos po ang World War II, nung sinabi ni John Maynard Keynes, para palaguin natin, para makabangon ang ekonomiya, ay kailangan gumastos ang gobyerno dahil merong tinatawag na multiplier effect. So, ganito rin ang konsepto, kailangan gumastos ang gobyerno sa mga programa na merong multiplier effect. Ibig sabihin, sa pisong ginagastos ng gobyerno, dapat mas higit pa sa piso ang nagiging suma total in terms of output. At dahil dyan, in the end, ay lalago tayo. So yun ang konsepto ng pump priming. So kumbaga, pinopromote natin ang growth when government spends. So yun po, and especially dahil nanggaling tayo sa pandemic, pinopromote natin ang economic recovery by spending.
That will lead to my second question, Mr. Speaker, to Madam Sponsor. So can you confirm that more than 13% of the proposed budget is to service our debt burden? This makes debt interest payments the second biggest contributor to the budget growth. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
And do you know how much that will go to our debt payment or debt servicing?
About 848 billion pesos, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
And my record says 876.7 billion. Parang mababa yung ano nyo. Mas gusto ko yung sa inyo, mas mababa ang ano nyo.
To be exact, 8 So kasama po ang net lending dun sa 876, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
So how much is it, Mr. Speaker? Madam Sponsor?
848 ang interest payments po
So
for national government,
for year,
2025.
so 848 billion.
Yes.
So how
Mr.
many
Speaker, Your
percent
Honor.
is that? 13% of our total budget for next year? How many percentage yung debt servicing natin?
11%, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
So 11%. So Mr. Speaker, so in short, 11% ng budget natin goes to debt servicing. Including ba yung principal doon or just the interest?
Just interest, Mr. Speaker.
So whenever pay yung principal natin, Mr. Speaker, Madam Sponsor?
Yes, we do pay for, we amortize our principal. But for, hindi po natin nakikita sa appropriations because magdo-double count po kung isasama natin.
Okay, Mr. Chair. So, Mr. Chair, the allocation for interest payment on debt increased by over 140-something billion from 670 billion 2024. So, mayroon tayong difference na 100 billion. Is that correct? Correct? Tama ba yun?
That is, wait. Ang increase po from 2024 is from 670.4 to 848.
So, a difference of 177 billion, something like that.
Yes, that is correct, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, Madam Sponsor, can you simply say that the COVID-19 affected our budget or our debt servicing na malaki? Malaki bang naging sanhi ng COVID-19 natin?
Absolutely, Mr. Speaker.
Can you give us yung detail? Kasi para malaman, kasi sa totoo lang, Mr. Speaker, Madam Sponsor, yung mga tao nagtataka, no? At least this is the time na explain natin sa kanila na every year tumataas ang ating utang, no? At akala nila saan napupunta ang ating pera. So ito bang COVID-19, kumpara mo year by year, ilang percentage ang tinaas because of the COVID-19 pandemic?
So kung titignan po natin ang gross borrowings by administration, nung panahon po ni President Aquino, ang kanyang debt to GDP ratio nung siya po ay nagtapos ay 41% lamang. 4.4 Mr. Speaker, let me... Okay, beginning President Aquino, ang gross borrowings, 4.4 billion, ang kanyang accumulated borrowing was 1.365. So, maliit lang po. 29.8% increase lang po. Pero nung panahon po ni President Duterte, panahon nga ng pandemya, ang accumulated debt is 7.47 trillion. Trillion, no? Trillion pala po, sorry ha. 7.47 trillion, which is a 125.6% increase. Pagdating po ng ating present administration, ang debt accumulation so far is 2.27 trillion pesos, or a 16.9% increase. So yun po ang pagkakaiba po across administrations. At uulitin ko po yung kay President Aquino, 1.365 trillion pesos. So yun ang difference po. Ulitin ko po kay President Aquino, 1.365 trillion. Ang kay President Duterte, 7.47 trillion. Ang kay President Marcos, 2.2 trillion pesos.
So because of the pandemic, Mr. Speaker, hindi lang dumoble, I think 6 times pa ata, parang ganun lumalabas because of the pandemic. Now, by the end of the 2025, ano bang projected outstanding national government debt natin? Magkano ang magiging utang natin by the end of 2025?
By the end of so sa ngayon po, ang ating debt stock, okay, by the end of 2025, ang ine-expect po natin na debt, outstanding debt is 7.351 trillion pesos. By the end of, with a debt to GDP ratio of 60.4%. Yan ang expected natin po.
So, tumaas na naman. So, you mentioned a while ago when I was listening, the debt to GDP ratio natin right now is 60.9%. Am I right?
60
0.9.
Yes, that is correct.
And then you also mentioned the target before the end of 2028. Ang target nyo is 56.3%. Is that correct?
This is a lower target. Okay, it's a range pala. Ang, sorry, 56.3, that is correct po.
Tama, di ba? Yan ang sinabi
Yes.
nyo kanina.
Yes po.
Now, at the end of 2028, so we're talking about 25 up to 2028. So with the difference of, kukumpara mo yung GDP na inanyo nyo, target nyo, so pwedeng tumaas to, pwede rin bumaba. Kasi target lang nilagay nyo na 56.3.
That is correct.
There's only 4 point something. So you're talking about the debt to GDP ratio from 2025 to 2028, 4 point something lang ang ina-expect yung tatas for almost 4 years tayo. Is that safely to say? Tama ba yon?
Pababa po ang debt to GDP.
Yeah, ng 4%
About 4
lang.
points.
Isn't it masyado siyang maliit?
Well, kasi tatandaan po natin na ine-expect din po natin na tumaas din ang ating utang. Kasi taon-taon, ine-expect natin na magde-deficit naman po tayo. Every year, ine-expect po natin na deficit spending tayo. So, ibig sabihin, taon-taon, umuutang po tayo. Ganun naman po. So, halimbawa, 2025, we expect 17.3. By end of 2026, we expect to have a total debt of 18.8. By the end of 2027, we expect our debt to be 19.8. By end of 2028, we expect our debt to be 20.7. So ganun po. But despite an increasing debt stock, ine-expect din po natin na ang ekonomiya po natin ay lumalaki. Alam niyo po, sa buong ASEAN, tayo po ang inaasahan na pinakamataas ang growth rate, 6.2%. Ka-level na natin sa growth rate ang Vietnam. So, pero ang kagandahan po is sa inflation, ina-expect po nila na mas mababa ang inflation rate natin sa Vietnam. So, in other words, suma total, ahead tayo in terms of outlook. So, yun po. That's the reason for why we expect our debt to GDP ratio to be much lower in 2028 because we expect our economy to be growing.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor, will the Filipino taxpayers expect to pay this debt forever? This portion of the budget represents money that could have been allocated for government projects that can actually reach the Filipino people. Our outstanding debt level will just continue to post new record highs because of continued budget deficits that will be financed by the additional borrowings. What is the plan of our government to offset these borrowings? Ano mga plano natin, no? At least, do we have a catch-up plan na every year na tumataas na lang itong ating borrowings, no? When will it stop, no? And the Filipino people hindi nila nararamdaman yung ang kanilang buhay dahil nga ito, patas ng patas ang ating utang, yung kanilang buhay hindi naman nagbabago. So this is the time, Mr. Speaker, na malaman na naka-live tayo, malaman ng ating mga kababayan, itong mga utang ng ginagawa natin, Mr. Speaker, Madam Sponsor, ay nakakatulong ba ito sa ating mga ordinaryong kababayan?
Well, una sa lahat, parang ang pinaka-importante sa lahat is dapat lumago ang ating ekonomiya. Yun ang pinaka-importante sa lahat. So bagamat umuutang tayo, dapat magamit ng tama ang utang such that lumago ang ating ekonomiya. Diba? Kasi hindi dapat mapunta tayo sa isang sitwasyon na umuutang tayo pero yung utang na yan ay nagiging behest. Diba? So yun ang hindi pwedeng mangyari. At obviously ang mga pinag-uutangan natin ay para sa mga bagay na talagang kailangan natin tulad ng mga railway, di ba? Sino naman ang hindi nangangarap na magkaroon ng isang modern railway system dahil tayong lahat ay sawang-sawa na sa traffic, di ba? So, yun ang mga pupuntahan na mga inuutang natin. So, yun ay inaasahan natin na magpapamodernize ng ating ekonomiya. So, and at the same time, habang lumalago ang ating ekonomiya, ang ating deficit ay lumiliit over time. So, kung during the pandemic ay umabot yata ng lagpas 7% ang ating deficit, ang ibig sabihin ng deficit ay sobra sa kita ang gastos natin. Pero sa ngayon, nakikita natin na dahil tama ang direksyon ng ating economic managers ay lumiliit ang ating deficit. So, kung ipapagpatuloy natin ang ginagawa ng ating DBCC, by the time this administration ends, ang nakikita natin na deficit ay 3.7% na lang. So, yun ang siguro dapat tignan natin that we are heading towards the right direction. So yun po. And at the same time, ay patuloy sa pag-improve ng pangongolekta ng buwis. As much as possible, ayaw natin ng bagong buwis kasi ang dami naman talagang buwis na nandyan na hindi lang talaga natin nakukolekta ng maayos. So yun ang I think nagiging direksyon naman ng ating DOF. Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Speaker, Madam Sponsor, I just want to repeat myself. So, in the next few years, we'll see a decrease in our deficit.
Yun po, Mr. Speaker.
Yun ang
Your Honor.
target.
Yun po. Yan ang kailangan talaga natin makita. 3.7% ang ating target. At biruin ninyo, lagpas 7% po yan during the pandemic.
Okay. So, thank you, Madam, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Madam Sponsor.
Distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, today we as representatives of the people gather as a collective body to exercise the power of the purse, a sacred duty entrusted to us by the Constitution. This power shapes national policy and directs the nation's trajectory. Today, it is with great responsibility and honor that I stand before you to sponsor the House Bill number 10800, or the 2025 General Appropriations Bill. The fulfillment of one of Congress' most vital responsibilities. This measure proposes 4.405 trillion pesos in new appropriations, consisting of 4.247 trillion pesos in program new appropriations and 158.67 billion pesos in unprogrammed appropriations. On July 29, 2024, through the Department of Budget and Management, the President submitted within the prescribed time the proposed 2025 budget. Soon after the submission, your Committee on Appropriations immediately got to work and conducted budget briefings and hearings from August 5 to September 10, 2024. We spent long hours to flesh out the projects, activities, and programs of the entire Philippine government. Today, we deliberate on that proposal as one body, ensuring that it reflects our commitment to the Filipino people. Nagbibigay ng katangi-tanging kapangyarihan sa ating saligang batas sa mababang kapulungan ng Kongreso upang pagmulan ng pagbuo ng taunang gastusin ng pamahalaan. Ang pambansang budget bilang kinatawan ng taong bayan, tungkulin natin tiyakin na ang yaman ng pamahalaan ay nakatalaga ng wasto, patas at mahusay. Tinutupad natin ang sinupang tungkulin na papaglingkuran ang sambayanan. Ang pambansang budget ang siyang plano ng pamahalaan sa mga usaping pinansyal. Ipinapakita nito kung ano-ano ang mahalaga at mga gusto nating mangyari sa kagyat at sa pangmatagalan. Walang pera ang maaaring gastusin mula sa kaban ng bayan ng labag sa batas. Kaya't mahalaga ang pagpasa ng General Appropriations Bill. Pinopondohan ito ang mga pampublikong programa at proyekto. Tinitiyak ang epektibong paghahatid ng mahalagang serbisyo at itinataguyod ang pag-unlad ng pambansang ekonomiya at lipunan. The proposed total national budget for 2025 is 6.352 trillion pesos. The sum of the program new appropriations of 4.247 trillion pesos and the 2.105 trillion pesos in automatic appropriations constitute the appropriations cover for the budget. This year's budget theme is Agenda for Prosperity, fulfilling the needs and aspirations of the Filipino people. It aligns with the following three pillars of the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. The first pillar aims to develop and protect the capabilities of individuals and families, nakasentro sa bawat mamamayan at pamilyang Pilipino. Inuuna ang edukasyon, kalusugan, at proteksyon ng panlipunan. Human and social development will receive 2.120 trillion pesos or 33.38% of the budget to ensure the Filipinos are empowered and protected. The second pillar seeks to transform production as to generate more quality jobs and competitive products and services. Layon ng 1.852 trillion pesos na nakatalaga dito ang makagawa ng maraming trabaho habang sinusuportahan ang agrikultura at ang industrial na modernisasyon ng Pilipinas. This will ensure our country's sustainable economic growth. The third pillar endeavors to create enabling environment encompassing institutions and physical natural environments. Makakatanggap ng malaking pondo ang mga programa sa infrastruktura at pamamahala. It will modernize public services, boost connectivity, and enhance climate resilience. Nagkapailalim at sa tatlong haliging ito ang legacy projects ng Pangulo, ang legacy specialty hospitals, legacy on food security, at legacy housing para sa mahihirap. Nakasentro ang atensyon ng pamahalaan na tiyaking may maayos tayong mga ospital para alagaan ang mga Pilipino, may sapat tayong pagkain at may disenteng tirahan. In terms of sectors, the 2025 budget allocates significant resources to number one, education. It remains the top priority with 977.6 billion pesos dedicated to ensuring accessible and quality education for all. Number two, public works and highways. It will receive 900 billion pesos to address infrastructure gaps, including flood control, roads, and bridges. Number three, health. It gets 297.6 billion pesos to enhance healthcare services and ensure universal health coverage. Number four, defense and social welfare. Respectively, they will receive 256.1 billion pesos and 230.1 billion pesos to maintain peace and order and safeguard the most vulnerable sectors of Philippine society. Looking ahead to 2025, the Philippine economy is projected to grow between 6.5% and 7.5%. This forecast signals not only our economic growth or strength, but also our collective commitment to sustain development. Our country remains on an upward trajectory with consistency and continued determination. We are poised to achieve upper middle income status by 2025, a milestone that will bring about new opportunities and improve living standards for our people. Amidst this expected economic growth and significant budgetary allocations to priority areas, reducing poverty remains a continuing and complex battle. Ganun pa man, tama ang direksyon natin. The 2023 official poverty indicates that our efforts are yielding results. Poverty incidence dropped to 15.5% from 18.1% in 2021. This equivalent to lifting 2.45 million Filipinos out of poverty. Similarly, the number of food poor individuals fell to 4.484 million pesos from 6.5 million during the same period. While these gains are encouraging, the goal of reducing poverty to a single-digit 9% by 2028 remains a formidable challenge. Achieving this requires sustained investment in education, healthcare, job creation, and social protection. Mahalagang masiguro ng paglago ng ekonomiya ay magdudulot ng konkreto at positibong transformasyon sa buhay ng bawat o ng lahat ng Pilipino. Ang hamon sa atin ngayon ay patibayin ang mga nakamit na nating pagbabago, patuloy na abutin ang mga mahihirap at bumuo ng isang lipunan na ang lahat ay kasama sa pagunlad. As we deliberate on the proposed budget, I appeal to every member of the esteemed body to prioritize the timely approval of the General Appropriations Bill for the fiscal year 2025. The prompt passage of this bill is critical to ensuring that government programs are implemented efficiently, eradicating poverty and benefiting every Filipino, especially those in most need. In the words of Nelson Mandela, overcoming poverty is not a task of charity. It is an act of justice. Like slavery and apartheid, poverty is not natural. It is man-made. It can be overcome and eradicated by the action of human beings. Let us, as one Congress, join hands in ensuring that this budget reflects the aspirations of our people, aligned with our vision for equitable progress and fosters sustainable growth. Let us, in this chamber, dutifully exercise the power to shape the future of our nation toward prosperity for all Filipinos. With this, I humbly seek the approval of this body of the 2025 General Appropriations Bill under House Bill number 10800. Maraming salamat po, and God bless us our endeavors. Thank you.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move to recognize